INFPs are often known for their compassion and loyalty. Silent waters, on the other hand, often conceal a surprising depth. Underneath their laid-back demeanor is a steadfast commitment to the causes and people they care about. Mediators are people who have well-established ideals and ideas that they are willing to stand up for without reservation. You may already know this about INFPs, however there is a lot you probably don't know about them that may come as a bit of a surprise. Today I'm talking about the top 9 surprising secrets about INFPs. Let's get into it. Welcome to Success for Breakfast, where I'm serving up brain food made simple. Hit that subscribe button to get the latest videos created to give you the tools to level up your life. Number 9 on our list today is INFP's focus on the big picture. If you think you're a pessimist, my sincere and probably very helpful recommendation is to make a friend who has the INFP personality type. They have a great habit of looking at the big picture. This is why minor failures every once in a while don't crush their willpower, and they always look for something better in the future. An INFP's extroverted intuition comes into play here as they constantly operate and encourage themselves with what-if situations, in which they give themselves opportunities to better and grow as people and learn more. To be honest, if you have a friend who is an INFP personality type, you already understand what I'm talking about. And if you think you have that habit, you might be an INFP. Next up, in the number 8 surprising INFP secret, is they make decisions that are influenced by their emotions. Another prevalent trait of people with the INFP personality type is that their emotions have a strong influence on their decisions. That implies that whether it's about a job, personal relationships, or other life decisions, you can always count on them to prioritize their emotions and feelings. If they choose a career, they are almost certain to be emotionally comfortable with it and believe that they can be passionate about it in the long run. This is why the INFP personality type is sometimes notorious for making rash decisions in the heat of the moment, so be careful what you say around them. Number 7 is they prefer to work alone. Whenever I'm talking about a group project, group assignments, or presentations, you can always count on the INFP personality type to shine the most whenever they're working alone. It's not to say that they hate people or that they don't have any social skills. They just feel like they can work at their best potential and give their best performance when they're alone. They aren't afraid to experiment, and they love to delve into the situation from different aspects, and working with other people might not give them the chance to do that. Here, the cognitive function of extroverted thinking comes into play. Whenever presented with a situation, a question, or a puzzle, the INFP personality type tends to become extremely detail-oriented and pays a lot of attention to every single aspect and detail. Once again, this is where their ability to what-if situations helps them out and allows them to think outside the box. Next up, and number 6 today, is they can ignore the small accomplishments while being hard on themselves. Ignoring your minor failures to focus on future opportunities and possible accomplishments is a very positive and admirable aspect of the INFP personality type. But we can't ignore another extremely common and interesting sign that is found in them. I have mentioned that they ignore the minor failures, but every time it's not just a minor failure that gets ignored. A lot of the time it can be a minor accomplishment that can actually boost their confidence. Their ability to overlook certain situations and consequences might also include the times when they ignore their accomplishments and become a little too harsh towards themselves. INFPs can be harsh on themselves because they want to make sure they're making the best decisions possible. INFPs have a strong bond with their internal morals, which causes them to be tough on themselves. They want to know that they are doing the correct thing, but they need to make sure to pay attention to the victories, no matter how small. If you've gotten some value from this video so far, please show your appreciation and hit that like button. That signals YouTube that you think other people could benefit from this video too. Starting our top 5 is their indecisiveness is unparalleled. It goes without saying that whenever you pay a little too much attention, think too much about something, and start to look at stuff a little too carefully, it gets a little hard to make a decision. Extroverted thinking is their inferior function. This is what enables people's decision-making and action. An INFP sees an infinite number of options while making a decision, and they think in associative concepts where one thing leads to another and then another. These unending thoughts and options are what causes people to experience analysis paralysis in which they are unable to make a decision. Another explanation is that INFPs despise being constrained. They don't want to be tied down to one thing and enjoy the flexibility and the ability to change their minds if they are unhappy with their decisions. So if you happen to overthink and overanalyze stuff, face a hard time while making a decision, and think a little too much about the details, then this might be another sign that you belong to the INFP personality type. Number 4 on our list of surprising INFP secrets is they tend to overthink. As we know, the INFP personality type happens to be introverted, which means that they are not exactly used to sharing stuff and discussing their thoughts and feelings with others. INFPs think too much while doing the dishes, sleeping, and driving. Because they keep spacing out, they tend to reread paragraphs numerous times. That's how frequently an INFP's head is invaded by random thoughts. INFPs are also quite sensitive to being offended by others. They are even regretful for being harsh to someone they dislike. INFPs will even overthink about the extent of their rudeness. Their conscience does remind them to be kinder in the future. INFPs tend to overthink the future because of all the concepts whirling around them. One of the INFP's weaknesses is that they are overly idealistic. They come up with brilliant concepts, and as a result, they want it to happen. However, when they are forced to act, the dread of failure can overcome them. Fears can cause someone to become overwhelmed and unable to achieve their goals. Kicking off our top 3 today is they have really, really high expectations. When it comes to expectations in the INFP personality type, things can easily spiral out of control. This is due to the fact that this personality type is known for having obscenely high expectations. Whether it's romantic, emotional, intellectual, or professional, they will always push themselves and those around them much further than anyone else. INFPs have a tendency to be idealistic, which might lead to unmet expectations in their lives. They have lofty expectations and dreams, and they don't want to give up any of them for anything. INFPs may have romantic or intimate relationship expectations that aren't met, making them dissatisfied. When things don't go as planned for the INFP, they can be quite disappointed. They are actually accustomed to being frustrated, therefore they will undoubtedly find a method to overcome this. However, compromising what they believe in and what they really want can be tough for them. In the runner-up spot at number 2 today is they're generous and open-minded. As I've mentioned earlier in the video, this personality type happens to be extremely thoughtful and doesn't hesitate to think outside the box and leave their comfort zone. INFPs are patient and accepting, and they try not to pass judgment on others' ideas, lives, or decisions. Many INFPs feel empathy, even for people who have done them wrong, as this personality type favors compassion to finding fault. Because of their openness, they frequently become confidants for their friends and loved ones, as well as complete strangers. This is why they happen to look at everything with a very accepting mindset and try to look at the positive side of everything. Once again, if you have an INFP friend, you are quite lucky. Topping our list and the number 1 surprising secret of an INFP is they are fast learners. INFPs are quick to learn new information and enjoy trying new things. Their minds are remarkably good at picking up on new information, which aids them in dealing with new environments. While others may take their time learning the procedures and making sure they're ready for each stage, the INFP prefers to get right in. They get bored quickly if they aren't stimulated enough. Therefore, they prefer to be able to pick things up quickly and go on the next adventure. INFPs flourish in new settings and adapt while others would feel confused or trapped because of their quick wits and intellect. INFPs excel in fast-paced situations far more than they do in sluggish ones. When the INFP feels uninspired and even stagnant, it's because their surroundings aren't stimulating their minds in the right way. When confined in a boring setting, the INFP feels trapped, yet in a fast-paced and exciting atmosphere, the INFP is more likely to flourish and be able to truly demonstrate their skills and abilities. INFPs are quiet but warm and thoughtful individuals. They value authenticity above all else, which is why they are unlikely to appear inconsistent in the view of others. INFPs would never knowingly harm another person and have no desire for fame or power. Instead, they want to make a positive impact on the world and influence the well-being of everyone they care about. INFPs are well aware that not everyone understands them, and that they are frequently regarded as a difficult nut to crack, but they are mostly unconcerned about this. What matters more to them is knowing that they have a small group of devoted friends who accept them as they are, and they reciprocate by doing the same for them. What are your thoughts on these surprising secrets of an INFP? Leave a comment and let me know. You've got this, now go get it done. Grab yourself some more brain food to help you level up your life and click on one of the videos on your screen right now.